Hello, everybody. So, I'm here, very humble in front of the task to make an impact in your life after so many great speakers and also before lunch. So, I will really do my level best so you will leave here with a very great impression. Excellent. So, here's the thing. You've been hearing all the statistics. I think we know already that this IoT, the Internet of Things, will impact all of us. So my intention with my presentation is not to tell you that by 2020 we will have a huge explosion and a huge opportunity, because I think it's clear by now. But I want to go a little bit deeper. What's the impact of this for us? Of course, how we can make sense of it, but how we will make the impact of this for us.
Anyway, I'll track him down.
And I would like to start by giving you two big news about what's happening here. The first one is that many of the things knowledge works, and I assume most of us here today are knowledge works, will be soon automated. So the Internet of Things, all this revolution in digital technologies will be for the knowledge work, the same as the machines, the heavy equipments was for the Industrial Revolution, right? But here's the good news. We will use those machines as our partners and collaborators in the knowledge work. So this is the first mindset I would like to share with you, because this is a big thing. It's a very exciting times we are living here, and we need to understand how we will relate to all those innovations that are coming to us. Now, we've been living in this era where we have impact in several areas. But just before going into the details, I would like to talk to you about my country. So, do you have an idea what's the national passion of my country? My country is Brazil. What do you think is the national passion? Football, right? So we really love football in Brazil. So think of this. Some people say, oh, some Brazilians, they are lazy, but give football to them. I remember myself when I was very young that I would wake up like 5 in the morning just to go and training, because I had the opportunity to play in the school with the teams in the school. So it is something that really makes us excited. And we really make the difference with creativity. We work it very hard with the art of the sport, all right? And of course, I had to make a very, very tough decision myself, right? So I had to quit, leave Ronaldo and Kaká to play in order to pursue my career in technology and be talking to you today. So it was not an easy call for me, but here I am, and I'm very proud to be talking to you today. However, we didn't realize that there was something that was changing the game, all right? So, as you know very well, we had the World Cup, and the World Cup in Brazil. And what happens is, Germany, 10 years back, they went through a process of restructuring their entire strategy. They realized that using technology would be a key part of changing the game of football overall. So what they have done, they have started changing this entire infrastructure from the clubs, from how they select people, and they started using technology to understand how they play, other teams, and to have information from sensors in the players in order to make this kind of decisions about what's going to be the best strategy here and there. And the result, here we are. They just came to the World Cup. They've done a fantastic job. I'm not happy with this, but I'm very happy that for the information technology, it was a big win. The big data and the IoT was the 13th player in the field, and it helped the German national team to win. So I invite you to go outside after this one, during your break, and you can check with our colleagues from SAP how this happened, what kind of technology was used to help the German national team. Fair enough? So now let me share with you some updates, the way we see that things are happening now. What I would like to share with you today is something that we need to discuss, we need to think, we need to have an opinion about that. So how we will work with machines. Have you ever asked this question for you? I've been asking this question for myself, and this question actually is being very big to me because this is my son. And the impact for me will be big, but for my son here, that is just born, will be even bigger. So what I will tell him about this, it is something that is the same I'm going to share with you today. So there are actually 5 steps we would like to consider in the era of machines, in the era of big data, in the era where this revolution will take over the decisions and the work that we do sometimes. So how we approach this. First thing I would like to share, we can step up. You can step up. I can step up. So it means that we focus on the big picture with higher intellectual ground. It means that you have a bigger challenge now. If you've been improving yourself and if you want to fit into this step up model, you will need to raise the bar for yourself. Or you can also step aside. So you can find something that cannot be codified at all. So you can be unique. Or you have another option. You can step in, embrace it. You partner with machines and you ensure that they do a good job. Or vice versa. So what if machines are supporting you to do the good job? So that's another scenario that would be applicable for all of us. Another thing would be step narrowly. It means that we find a specialty, okay, that will not be economically viable to be automated. So if you do something now that can be automated, but it will take a lot of time and we will learn more on top of that, so you are ahead of the machines. So this is another option for us. And last, we can step forward. And I understand that most of us here today will be somehow touching upon this point here, because we want to build the next generation of computing and artificial intelligence tools, right? So here's the point for you to reflect. What is going to be your position in front of those machines and the big data and this revolution that's coming in front of us? Yes, those are exciting times, but we will need to position ourselves to make this properly. And there is a huge opportunity for all of us. So probably you are also here today, either because you want to increase the revenues of your organization or you want to decrease costs. So you have 2 options. And this is a reality for all industries. If you see this chart, we are talking about overall 14 trillion in terms of value that can be generated out of this opportunity. So it's up to us to really make this happen and realize the potential that we have. So how we can do it? First thing, you can think of connect. You can connect all those billions of Internet of Things devices and gain insight from them. So you can combine the data and you can make this intelligent analysis of the new signals from devices and networks. Also, you can transform, okay? The decisions that you make today, you transform them into actions that are more up to date. So you have your organization up to date. So you will do this by execution operational processes through predictive and automated response. So you will come from insights to action. You will connect the power of the sensors to your business, to your organization, to the day-to-day organization. And finally, what you can do, you can imagine your customer experience. Either we have internal customers, we have external customers, we have our employees, we have our citizens. We can reinvent, reimagine their experience. And we will do that by empowering innovation. So innovation is the key to harness the Internet of Things. So this Internet of Things phenomena will touch all areas that you can ever imagine in our lives and our businesses. Those are a subtract from some of them. We'll be talking about smart cities. We'll be talking about smart homes. We'll be talking about connected logistics. We'll be talking about connected cars. So there are several areas where we can focus and we can extract value right away. If we think about this and how we at SAP is preparing to support our global community and expand in this new market, it's very simple. First, you need to realize that there is a platform that will sustain all of this. So we've been working in a very strong platform that will be able to support what we call the networks. So there will be a huge network. So from the first day of SAP, we've been dreaming about real-time organizations. It was 43 years ago. But 43 years ago, real-time meant something else. Maybe 5 days, you have information. It was an amazing achievement. But today, real-time for SAP means the speed of thought. We need information right now. And this information will not come from individual parts of our business. It will come from everywhere, from outside, from all the network that will be created. And finally, we will have applications, which is something that we are more used to. But those applications, they will take the insights and they will behave in a way that they self-planning the enterprise right away. It means that they will predict what has to be done, and because this is connected, it will happen right away. So, if you think of this and the results of it, we expect real-time from the entire network. And also we expect real-time for the business, so we can deliver to our customers the maximum value possible. So that's the simple way we see this at SAP. Technically speaking, it can go very, very beyond this, but this is not the forum for me to explain this to you. We have our people outside that can give you more details about that. What I want to give to you are the outcomes. So if we take this approach, which is available today, it is something that we can start using in terms of technology. If you think of vending machines, you can increase sales with vending machines. If you think of the uptime that you can get out of predictive maintenance, this is there. This is business values that you will get out of it. If you think of precision marketing, so you're in the mall, you receive a recommendation about something that you would like to have. It will increase the potential for you to buy more and to repeat your sales cycle in one specific store. And also, it can reduce cost. Think of insurance. How much they can reduce cost if they connect the cars and they have information on the fly to make your insurance costs in a different business model. And finally, it can help logistics. It can increase the on-time delivery if you have a connected logistics that leverage big data and the Internet of Things. So plenty of real and tangible results that you can extract from the platform, from the networks, and from the applications that are available today. So we have a customer that has been with us for a long, long time. And they came to a point that they had to change their own business model. So they really do heavy equipment, and this is something that was very traditional. But they came to us and they said that they would like to change the business model. They would like to make this a different way to deliver to their customers. So they said, we want this to be a solution-based enterprise. We want to move from manufacturing. And they started using predictive analytics. They started having control of the machines. This is John Deere. And they reimagined the entire business model. And today, they sell things as a service. The same way happened for Kaiser compressors. So think of a compressor. Compressor is a heavy machine. So by taking control of the sensors of the machine, by understanding what's going to happen with the machine, they managed to change the business model. Instead of selling compressors, they started selling the compressed air as a service. Okay? And if you start thinking in this direction, if you only think of a coffee machine, you can start not selling the coffee machine, but selling coffee as a service, and so on and so forth. So that's the direction that the Internet of Things can do for new business models worldwide. Now, we as a company, we understand business process more than anybody else. We have business processes automation for everything you can imagine. So, leveraging this knowledge that we have, we took the data and we took the sensors to the next level. And I would like to share with you something that will augment your understanding about where we are coming. So we're talking about football, right? So there is a match happening, but there are several processes to make this show. And there are technicians that can help. What if we use Internet of Things to really make this process of maintenance and keeping the show happening without disruption? So we'll use data, we'll use geolocation information, we will understand what are the processes, how we can solve the issues on the fly. So we will allocate the technician that is closest to the location to come and do it. We are going to use the wearables, like what you see now, in order to understand what is the focus, where I can change things, where I can fix things. So Internet of Things at SAP is a reality, people. So we've been doing this not from a fancy social media only. Of course we have that. We are leveraging social media. But for us, most of our customers, they have very serious business models. So this is something, if we help them to fix very quick, several fans, they will be so happy. They will be so happy that the match started again. Just because we had Internet of Things, we had data, we have wearables working together to make this a reality. Now, we are also talking about logistics. And I'm going to need sound from this one. And I just want to share what we have done for the port of Hamburg. So you're going to have a coffee outside. So let's see what your coffee is going to become in the future. Sound, please.
Coffee, a real joy and a daily must-have for many of us. Most of the coffee beans arrive in Europe's second largest harbor in Hamburg, Germany, and many more raw materials. The Hamburg Port Authority handles some 10,000 ships and 9 million containers annually, and growing. This brings a very interesting challenge.
They are right in the middle of the city of Hamburg, so they cannot get more space. But they need to actually put more containers through that space. So what they turn to SAP and our partners is to help them with that challenge. How do you make sure that only the resources, that's trucks, that's people, that's containers, that are actually required in the port, are in the port, and that everybody else stays away?
The simple solution: every component in the harbor will be communicating in the internet. Ships, containers, cranes, trucks, and even traffic control systems.
It means that a lot of devices, a lot of things are connected via the internet to applications to provide the data, the insight to the business. That's why it is called the Internet of Things, lots of things.
The cloud solution allows cargo ships to transmit their time of arrival to bridges, which will be opened automatically to allow them to pass through. Traffic can be diverted to avoid jams. Parking spaces can be allotted, and unloading slots can be made available on short notice.
The solution helps the Hamburg Port Authority to run a much more efficient, but also a much more predictable business. In other words, a much simpler business.
This goes way beyond harbor premises. By 2020, more than 50 billion devices will be connected by internet, allowing for a more efficient use of resources in production and logistics.
It also helps you anticipate surprises. It helps you to predict what is going to happen based on learning. And in that way, it helps you to run a much simpler business because it is based on reality and not on guesswork.
So one day, when we enjoy our coffee, the cup will be able to tell the barista automatically when it needs a refill.
I guess that's what you need right now, a coffee, right? So we are almost there. We are almost reaching our coffee here. All right, so this is also something that can be, of course, applicable to the cities, right? So we have in our labs things that are being developed that are quite amazing. So we are gathering data from several cities, and we've been doing ways of visualizing this data in novel interfaces. So think of having the entire traffic of the city, doing predictions and correlations on the fly, visualizing this and understanding what are the routes that we have in order to avoid traffic, in order to focus on the infrastructure, in order to understand what's happening. So we are pretty much doing everything that you can ever imagine with the real-time capabilities. Because when you have real-time capabilities, the possibilities are infinite. So this is where we are today. So this is just for you to have an idea, something we have done for traffic in China. And with that, I would like to come to my conclusion here. What I have for you today is that machines are coming to augment our work and lives. We've been experiencing this with our customers. We have a huge community, and we've been discussing this topic openly. And they understand the power that this will bring to all of them. Now, we need to consider that big data exploitation and IoT exploitation will require leadership and vision. We've seen what Dubai is trying to do in terms of becoming the smartest city on the planet by 2017. This is a clear example of leadership and vision. But we want this to come to the enterprise. We want this to come to every single entity from the government. We need this vision to roll out all the possibilities that can come out of this. So the technology providers out there, they are ready. So we reach it to a point that the technology is available. We have platforms, we have networks, we have applications, but there is nothing that we can do if there is no vision. Another important thing here is that it's not about the analytics as we know it. It's about enabling the collection of those events, doing correlations, and enabling the actions right away. We will see that in future, we will have a lot of actions happening. A call, a transaction on your ERP, on your CRM, that will happen from the sensors directly without a human intervention. So we will understand the events, we will correlate with the historical transactions, and we will do the action right away. And last but not least, it's our responsibility to build a self-turning enterprise and adapt quickly to the market. So take the example of Alibaba. They've been self-turning the organization for so many years. They've been adapting to the market. So changing is a culture in Alibaba. Think of Amazon. They have this self-turning at the core of their business model. So they do recommendations just because I came and I searched for a book on the Internet of Things. And they also know that I like science fiction, and they just come up with something that I would never find by myself. So they are self-turning their business model. So with that, I would like just to come to my final remarks to you. First, helping you to remember that we are here to connect, transform, and reimagine our models. So this is the power of the Internet of Things. But let's remember, as humans, we have an advantage. Machines, they will never be able, or it will be very hard for them to be able to do the creativity, to create new business ideas, and to come up with scientific breakthroughs as we do. It will be very hard for the machines to replace it from us. And also, it will be very hard for the machines to handle emotions and interpersonal skills. So that's on our advantage here. And also, we have an edge because the dexterity that is required and mobility that is required to do several things, a machine is far from doing this. So I really let you know that machines, they will augment what we do, but they will never change things that are so much important for our society. And this is something that we are here to deliver as individuals. Thank you.
Well, Pedro, fascinating insights. Just before we break for lunch, I bet there are loads of questions, particularly about football. That's what mine are about. Who's got a question for Pedro? Okay, who's got the first question? Here's mine, and it's the human question. The technology is there. You guys have got the technology, the software, the hardware's there from some of the other guys. But how do we train people, not just to use this data, but to have the mindset of knowing that it's there and embracing it? It's almost a kind of cultural shift, isn't it? To allow people to embrace big data.
Wow, that's a fantastic question. In fact, as I was presenting before, we have several ways to adapt to this, right? It requires a different mindset from us. When we say that data will augment what we do, it means that we have to shift our mind in terms of how we use the technology. I mean, mobile phone, it's helping us a lot. I mean, I see the little kids now, they really do things and they stretch their minds in a way that even for us it's not possible. So I guess they will have an advantage. They will come pre-built for this future that we are talking about right now. But for us that we are facing this right now, I think we need to really embrace it. We really need to see what can we do that is unique in order to give to the machines, to give to the algorithms, to the analytics out there, what we don't need to waste our time and energy. So it's not about how much we can learn, it's how much we can delegate and partner with all those big data and IoT solutions that will come out of there.
Fascinating stuff. This conversation will rumble and rumble. Pedro from SAP, it's been a great pleasure. Thanks very much indeed for your time today.
Thank you very much, everyone.